Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Infinite Abilities Podcast. I am your host, Nick Yerhart, and we are here to encourage each other to find our own unique abilities. Let's go. All right, everyone. So today we have Raymond, and this guy is truly making a difference in the world and helping so many people. And he's just getting started. So I know that he's going to do some incredible things. And let's just get into it. Raymond, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So my name is Raymond Freitas. I go by Ray of Life. Me is my coaching name, but in public, I am the man of misunderstandings. So as you see, my work extends further than just on a computer screen. It goes out in public as well, because you never know when someone might need help. Sometimes you might be a business owner and you do everything for you. But when someone's out in the street and someone needs help, you just ask them what they need. If they need money for food, you give them a little bit of money, some quarters, some change, or uh, or you just find the right person that can help that person if you can't. So my work isn't just behind a computer screen; it's in public as well. Because when you have a generous heart, when you're helpful to others, it can't just be all about you. You have to think about other people, and you have to understand, like, man, I am just two bad moves away from being in their situation, and that's where empathy and compassion comes in.
Yep.
Um, I've been coaching since since COVID-19. I became a coach in April 2020. I got my certified life coach and health coach certifications. And I coached a bunch of different things. I coached health, I coached business owners, I coached finances, I coached relationships, and I finally realized there's a pattern going on here. Everybody that's coming to me is struggling to find some form of internal happiness. So it was in 2023 that I came to a realization I'm actually more of a spiritual happiness coach. I just focus on relationships and career.
Okay. Okay.
Those are the first two. Those are the two I focus on, because those two together, your relationship or your career, are the most important things in someone's life.
Yep.
And so I created a program in 2023 where the first 2 months I discuss what achieving happiness looks like, and switching negative thinking to positive thinking, switching ordeals and doing the little things, having an inner approach to life, all those things, spiritual development. Then I get into health for 2 months, and it takes 8 weeks to form a new habit. And what I focus on is sugar addictions.
Yep. Sugar is the worst.
And don't get me wrong, I still like my sugar, but
Same.
I'm no longer a sugar addict. So I focus on sugar addictions. What can we do to really help your sugar level? We're going to drink more water. When you drink more water, it improves your performance when you exercise. I drink nothing but water, and if I drink anything else, it's going to be like green juice. That's all I drink: water and green juice, and sometimes some smoothies if it's hot. But 95% of the time, I drink nothing but water, and I feel a lot better because of it. So if you have a juice addiction, you're probably going to overcome that in my program.
Awesome.
And then the final 2 months of my program talks about financial stability and the law of attraction. Finances, your service or action based professional, be very important to manage. So where I come in is I figure out where are the non-negotiables, where are the negotiables. What can you do to actually stop the bleeding? Because if you're running a business, you're marketing, you're selling, you can't spend all of it because it's going to go to taxes. So you've got to manage it a good way. So that's where a budgeting coach like myself comes into play. Can I tell you where to invest? No, but that's why I'm partnering up with Rethink Wealth in Texas. I refer you to them to invest. But like I said, you can't do anything as long as you're not living within that budget. And the law of attraction, of course, is another term for karma. Whatever you put out there is going to come back. So when it comes to money, The spiritual Jews have a way of saying if you give $2, the universe will give $4 back. So I kind of live by that motto.
Yep, I love that, and, I live by the law of, attraction, you know? I put out into the world what I want, and it's actually incredible how things just come your way. People come your way that can help you reach your goals. It is just awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I realize right now because my dad had passed really this part of the year, and I'll be vulnerable to your audience. It's pretty nice waking up in the morning, not having too many responsibilities, and because I retired early from the school just to pursue this big soul mission that I have. And I don't mind taking the break. I don't mind taking a pause on things. And this is where I feel like as a business owner, sometimes it's necessary to take a pause because you can get burnt out. So anyone on their independent platform, if you're a lawyer, you're an accountant, you're an entrepreneur, it's okay to take a pause if you're feeling burnt out. It's no big deal, but never on your health. Don't take a pause on
Yeah.
that.
No, and, I learned the hard way the importance of taking a pause, taking breaks, taking time for yourself. Last year, I'd say, well, about this time a year ago, I was go, 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 go. 14-hour days every day, didn't ever stop, and I hit a wall where I just didn't wanna do anything, and that was terrible, and that was the obviously is not good for a business when you don't wanna do it anymore. So, I took a break, I got refocused, I got I reestablished my goals, my why, all of that, and I got back in it again. But this time was different. I was like, all right, I need to take 2 days off a week, and I do not work after 6 o'clock at night. That's it.
I love
So,
it. Well,
yeah.
I set boundaries as well, so I don't coach anyone until after 3 p.m. PST, and I figure most people are available after work anyways for coaching.
Mhm.
So I made that decision years ago as to not coach anyone until after 3 p.m. PST. And then also that gives me more time in the morning to do other things, household chores, marketing, whatever I want to do. It gives me a chance to actually keep up. Last couple months have been tough. I've been on a few shows since we actually spoken, but my grandmother is still in hospice, and that's kind of we're my mom and I are in anticipation, and that's a job in itself overseeing her care with her caretakers. So that's kind of where I'm at in my soul mission journey. But am I happy? Absolutely. There's some things I'm very happy with. I'm happy for my wife's success. I'm happy for her doing well at her job and helping her with this and her and our little side business that we have with her clothing and jewelry. So I'm happy. Um,
Yeah. That's
And
good.
that's the goal. If I'm gonna
Mm.
be a spiritual happiness coach, I gotta have happiness myself. Like how am I gonna be preaching this somewhere else if
Mhm.
I'm not happy within myself? And don't get me wrong, I'm bipolar. So we know a lot of people that are bipolar are up and down, up and down. They're either too excited or they're real depressed. Well, for
Mhm.
me, I'm even killed. So I know I've done a lot of emotional healing in the last 3.5, 4 years, which I really do credit to biomagnetic therapy, heart-based emotional code therapy. Um, I've healed a lot of different things in my life, but you can only heal mental illness. There's really no cure for it.
No.
You can heal it. You can heal your emotions. And I found out the hard way in 2023, where I kind of went on another kind of psychotic episode, and that kind of let a dent into my coaching industry and my momentum. And that's what led to the loss of my job, all for predicting a storm. I predict a storm and they fire me. Can you believe that?
Wow.
So it didn't matter because that whole year my dad's health declined, so there's no way it could have worked anyways. And towards the end, I realized there's something out there that's greater than all of us. It's stirring the pot somewhere else. It's making
Yeah.
sure things are working in our favor.
So I live by the saying, everything happens for a reason. M- 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 My grandfather has been saying that since I was a little kid, and it's stuck with me my whole life. And I truly believe it. And it's like you get hit with this awful thing that happens in your life. And, like for me, when I lost my dad, I was like, there's nothing good about this. Nothing good. Well, fast forward like a year later, I found my purpose in life. And that actually wouldn't have happened if I wouldn't have lost my dad, because I wouldn't have gone on a different path. Because I used to, I worked for my dad. We had a business. I planned on owning that business and running that my whole life. Things change. So yes, I want my dad back, but everything does happen for a reason, and I think it's really important to try to look at the good things that happen all the
Yes.
time.
Yeah, no, I as much as I want my dad back, I don't miss the person he became before he passed. He had a lot of health
Same here.
issues. He had lost 35 pounds in a couple months. They were gonna give him a heart transplant, but because he had stage 4 lung cancer, it just kinda made the whole process not worth it, and, uh, so it but I feel very accomplished for the work and the help I helped my dad towards the end. I have no regrets, but he lived 19 and a half years with heart disease. So he lived as
Wow.
long as he could.
Yeah.
He had a massive heart attack when I was 53. So he lived as long as he could. And I remember taking him to the hospital on January 3rd of this year, and I go, some nurse comes to me, "Are you Raymond?" And the doctor goes, We're going to stop cancer treatments because it's making him sick." And I look at his blood pressure and it's like 55 over 30. I'm like, "I don't think they're letting you out." And he goes, "That's okay." And then he walks to the bathroom after a while and his blood pressure drops from 45 over 20, which is very, very low. And he never came home. I was supposed to take him home on January 7th and he passed away January 7th in the morning. Ever since then, I've been more focused on getting the household goals. So the business, I do little things for the business. I go on shows when I can, get on different people's podcasts, but for the most part, I've been handling household chores and keeping an eye on my grandmother, making sure she's happy, and helping my wife with her business, and taking opportunities like this and sharing my story.
Yeah.
I'm also writing 2 books right now. One called "How I Achieved Happiness Living with Mental Illness," and the second one that I'm writing is called "God and Mental Health: The Return of the Man of Misunderstandings, Myself."
Hmm.
And if you're wondering what man of misunderstandings means, well, first, men are misunderstood, women are misunderstood, the society's misunderstood, a lot of things are misunderstood. But a misunderstanding is the scientific explanation of a miracle. See, in science, they don't really have the actual term miracle because in science, it's about based on theory and fact. So when something happens out of the ordinary that they don't know, they call it a misunderstanding. Whereas, um, if you're religious, then you probably have a direct relationship with the supernatural. Or you're like a Dr. Joe Dispenza, you're teaching people how to activate your pineal gland because
Hmm.
it's your pineal gland that attracts certain things in life. And so all I could say is, even though my branding still says is still love and spirituality, the goals that I help my clients with are a little bit different.
Hmm.
It's not just communication, because I do really think relationship issues and work issues are mental health issues. So that's where I focus primarily on family wellness and mental health management because I've learned in the last 3.5, 4 years now when I'm building this business that it's all mental health related. You get burnt
Yep.
out, that's going to affect you mentally. I mean, just the way the society kind of brings life upon us, it's just a burnt out society.
Mhm.
Gotta get up at 5:30 in the morning. You gotta go to work. You get there by 8 or 9. You get all this emails back and forth. You go back in rush hour traffic, and you don't get home till 7, 8 o'clock. You eat dinner late at night. A year later, you realize, man, I gained 30 pounds
Mhm.
because
Yep.
society is not set up for us to
Um,
be happy.
yep.
It just doesn't
Exactly.
work. So you gotta have workarounds, and
Mhm.
so
That's why I like empowering others to see if they can start their own business. So many people out there they have this gift to help others, and they don't use it. And that's what being an entrepreneur is. It's simply using what you've learned, and usually it's because you went through something hard or you had a problem that you had to solve for yourself, and now you can go out and help others solve that same problem.
definitely. And I think that's, I mean, I think the godfather of the coaching industry would be Dale Carnegie. Not
Oh,
Tony Rob
definitely.
not Tony Robbins, but definitely Dale Carnegie.
Mhm.
And, he's kind of the godfather of network marketing as well, even though he didn't really actually start network marketing, but the guy that started it attended one of his seminars and realized, "This is how I'm gonna sell my product." So, personal development stems from Dale Carnegie, and I've read one of his books, Speaking to Win. I like what he had to say. The reason why we don't discuss politics and religion is not because they lead to arguments, because we'll never leave. Those
Yeah.
it'll just be like that's I like what he had to say. But he was one of the forefronts of transformation and business development in the early 1900s, and the coaching industry, which is actually the second fastest growing industry in the world.
Yep.
Um, Tony Robbins definitely put it on the map. I want to say that.
Mhm.
Definitely put
Yeah.
it on the map. And his work, if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have all these other coaches.
Mhm.
So he's very well respected, and I do respect him, the success he's been given, especially
Mhm.
now that he donates most of his money to other people who are poor and
Yeah.
don't have much things, and he's made his money, so he doesn't need as much anymore. But he truly is a beacon of light and hope for others, and you could just tell he generally just wants to help people. He does little
Yeah.
3-day excursions, and he does group coaching still. He has a team of people. He just clearly wants to help people.
Mhm.
But not everybody's set up to be a business owner. So if you want to help people, well, you could be a lawyer, you can be an accountant, you can be a cop, you can be a good cop. Uh,
Yeah.
if- you could be a doctor or nurse. So there are other fields to help people. Absolutely, you don't have to be a business owner. But I do think
No,
the business platform allows you to have more freedom of how you're going to help someone. Because if you're a
definitely.
nurse or a doctor, you're helping them with their health. If you're a lawyer, helping them with the legality things, and if you're an accountant, you're helping them with taxes. Or if you're, a fireman, you're helping the city with a bunch of different things. So I do believe every job has some form of help to it.
Mhm. Yep.
But as an
Definitely.
entrepreneur, it's easy. You just start a business and you figure out what problem you're going to solve. And if it's an unhappiness problem like myself, I guess my market's pretty high right now.
That's for sure.
Like, yeah, I'm not happy with this. And I think I put in my book one of the things I help people with is helping them feel better about our political situation. And if it depends who you ask. I mean, some people are like, "Yeah, I like this guy. I like Trumpty Dumpty," but some people are like, "No, I don't like him. He's awful." And we're living in such a divisive world
Yep.
where this person over here doesn't like this person over here doesn't like that person because they did this and they did that. And we got to get back to a society where Who cares who voted for someone? It's
No, like, I remember when I was a kid, like, it didn't matter. Well,
no,
and we didn't talk, politics back
no,
then.
no, we
Mm,
didn't discuss it. It wasn't that big of a deal. Um, it wasn't that big of a deal, and you voted who you thought you would vote for after the primary debate, and you would just move on. Now it's like you voted for who? I want to kill you.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
It's like
it's
and
crazy.
it's ridiculous because Republicans have done good things for the country, but so have Democrats. They're the two biggest parties. They've done good things. They've done a lot of bad, but they both have done good things for the country in their past. I don't know what's going on now. This is not our grandfather's Republican Party, but and I would say I'm probably more of a libertarian, someone who just wants freedom and liberty and just people to and world peace and just to live the lives they want to live. The no
Yeah, I just want us to just be happy, get along,
right.
and live the best life that we can.
Yeah, be happy, get along, do what you gotta do to get your goals achieved, set your family up for retirement one day so you don't have to work anymore, and just do what you love doing. Do what you love.
Yep. Exactly, exactly. Well, Raymond, this has been awesome, and where can people find you and, connect with you?
Well, I'm on the three most popular social media engines. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn. But if you want to really reach out to me, you can look at my website, reallifeme.com, and you could send me a message in there if you want.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And I gotta ask you the question that I ask everyone. So my slogan is your abilities are infinite. What does that mean to you?
Abilities are infinite. What does that mean to me? It means the sky is not falling. It means the sky is the limit.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Sky is the
I
limit. When
love it.
I look up the sky, I'm like, I don't think there's any way to get down. The
Nope.
sky is the limit. So just do what you
Yeah,
got to do.
awesome. I love that. Well, Raymond, thank you again. This was really awesome.
No problem, Nick, and take care.
You too. If you enjoyed this show, please go ahead and share it on your Instagram story and tag me in it, the Nick Yerhart. Also, go ahead and share it anywhere else that you see fit, because the only way that I can grow this is by you guys sharing it. I don't sell anything on here. I don't have any sponsors, so let's just get it out there by word of mouth and help more people. Alright, everyone, remember your abilities are infinite.